That's
Yeah,
possible.
there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Perfect.
Open it up for questions for Coach.
Thank you.
So what about this opportunity intrigued you?
I think it's a lot about it. One is Kentucky football. Super excited about that. Lexington, the city, is an awesome city. And then the relationships with Bush Hamden and Coach Stoops that I kind of knew from afar. I got to coach Drake Stoops at the University of Oklahoma. And I think anytime you make a transition like this and a leap of faith, you want to be surrounded by good people. And everybody speaks so highly of Coach Stoops and what he's been able to do here at this university.
As a younger coach, what have you just learned throughout your career so far that you're excited to bring here to Lexington?
That you're calling me younger. I like that. I hope some enthusiasm. I hope some passion. I think, the relationship piece is super huge for me. A guy named Jamori Macklin, that's in that room I've known since forever because Jeremy Macklin is one of the reasons I got to go to the University of Missouri. But you want to bring passion. You want to bring grit. I think those guys will see my energy. I've also played the position, been through what they're going through right now. And hopefully they'll be able to see kind of the steps that I've taken and for me to go through those steps and help them with their transitions that I went through the same steps.
Obviously, you are inheriting a room that's got a lot of turnover this offseason.
Yep.
Which is true of everybody.
College ball. Welcome.
What's the pitch you're giving the guys as you try to replenish the depth?
A pitch to me is like you're trying to sell something. Like I got no pitch just to be as authentic as I can be. My job right now is to go earn those guys' trust. My job is to meet those guys where they are right now and bring them along. Not for them to meet me where I am. My job is to meet them where they're at. If it's guys in that room, whoever it is, my job is to coach them and get the best out of them. That's what I'll bring every day.
The time you spent with Bush, can you talk a little bit about that relationship that year?
Yeah, so I had just retired. COVID hit in 2020. I was back in Columbia. I was a volunteer middle school head coach. I was running a nonprofit with Gary Pinkel, who was my college coach at the University of Missouri. And Drink was asking me to speak to the team. I did. He offered me a job. I was like, man, I already gave these middle school kids and their parents my word. Like, your word is everything that you have. And so I was like, I'll be around, though. And so I started to go around. Bush had just transitioned from being the Rams quarterback guy with the Falcons quarterback guy. And so we would talk receiver play. I was kind of his guy away from it all to just talk receiver play. And that January, I became full-time as director of player development because I truly got a passion for young people and helping them out. My story, since I've been on my own since 15, so for me, my journey isn't just to be about me. Selfishly, to keep it to myself, I think is not God's call for me. My job is to be a testimony to others, so I truly got a passion for that. So became director of player development. And every day that Bush saw me in the hallway, be like, what are you doing here? You have to leave. You have to go coach. Like, you can be a rock star in this profession because you kind of got an attitude and the mindset to go do it. You have to go do it. And finally, that May, I took him up on that. I left to go take my first position job at the University of Southern in Louisiana, where I'm from.
Damien, in your conversations with Mark and Bush, what's kind of the goals for you in this room to get them going after, it was a tough year for the offense last year?
Yeah, my job right now for the room is that we be our best self. Whatever that is, we have to be our best self. Right now, my job is to transform them to understand that everything that happens, they got to be mentally tough. Right? So some games they'll go into a game and whether they get one target or 10, no matter what, we have to be having a mental ability to go in and execute and do our job. If we do our job, the University of Kentucky wins. And that's the mindset that I have to bring to that room. No job is too big, no job is too small. We have to attack every day.
And did any memories flow back from playing Kentucky? I think you were last year in Missouri.
Yep, wasn't a good memory at this stadium last. That was I tweaked my foot, kind of hindered me the rest of the year. Had to wear a boot the rest of the year. Finished it because I wasn't going to stop. But that's the last memory here. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm super excited about it. I remember it as a player. That stadium can get loud. It gets rowdy. Y'all have some passionate fans. I'm excited to be here. It's truly a blessing to be here.
So what did you learn from coaching middle schoolers?
Patience. Patience. No, it's good. I think what you understand about, you can say, oh man, college to middle school, for me it wasn't that big of a difference. When you show people, not kids, people, that you genuinely care about them, the things that they'll do in return for you, and vice versa. Because it's easy to be like, man, I need this. But if they don't understand that you love them, you're just asking them to do something for you with no return of giving them anything back. That's why I said my job right now is to go earn these kids' trust every day. And it's not right now a sprint for me. It's a marathon. Week 1 is when we have to be ready. Week 1, the first game. Up until then, I have to earn their trust. I have to be patient with the process. I have to be patient with them. I have to meet them where they're at. And I think whenever you do that by people and you show them you care about them, good things happen at the end of the day. Regardless, win, loss, or not, good things happen. Relationships are built for a lifetime. That's my number one goal.
During Mark Stoops' tenure here, there's been kind of a revolving door of wide receiver coaches. Does that make it a little bit more difficult of a challenge for you to earn people's trust? Does that play into it at all?
Nope. I think if you walk into a door and the previous door that you just walked out of, you expect the same thing when you walk into the next one, then you've already are behind in that door that you're walking into. I'm not going to walk into a door and live in the past or let those kids, hey, I'm just like the next. I don't think it works like that. You walk into it with an open mindset. That's why I said wherever they are, my job is to meet them wherever they are. And maybe they're reluctant because there have been, 2 to 3 receiver coaches. Cool. My job is to earn their trust. If I earn their trust, they're going to understand I'm here for a reason, I'm here for a long time. I didn't take this job with the idea that I'm going to be here 1 year and leave. I took this job with the expectation that we're going to continue to build on what Coach Stoops has already built for 12 years prior to this.
Does it help some in this turnover era? I mean, it's basically a fresh start for everybody. I don't think anybody in that room's been there longer than a year. So
Yeah.
you have guys who were coached by a bunch of different players.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what college ball is right now. The turnover rates are high. But I think what has been consistent, regardless, especially with Kentucky football, is that Coach Stoops has built a solid foundation and has shown that this program has been successful in the past. That's what we hang our hat on, knowing that the foundation of it all is already solid because he's built it for 12 years. That's been consistent.
You sound like the teaching aspect of coaching is super
What's the
important
difference?
for you.
No, I'm joking.
How difficult was it for you to transition from a player to a teacher role?
I think it's different. To say that it's easy is not true because I think, when you first transition, you got to know when you walk into that room, they're looking at you. All eyes are on you. It's different when you're a player, right? Like, you're walking into the room, like, cool, everybody's not focused on you. I have to understand that no matter what happens on Saturdays, no matter what happens during the week, like, when I walk into that room, no matter what's happening in my personal life, when I walk into that room, I have to be on point for those young men that's counting on me, like truly counting on me. And to me, that's something that I take, honestly, pride in doing, being able to flush whatever it is. No different than young men. Like, they're going to make mistakes. They're not perfect. Nobody's asking them to be perfect. So my job is to make sure that they understand that forgiveness is all of it. So the biggest piece with the coaching and from player piece is to be able to have that patience, be able to talk through the problems, always have an answer. And if you don't have an answer, it's okay to say that I don't have an answer. Go find an answer for them and tell them that you'll get it for them.
When you're looking at portal receivers who might be available, what attributes do you, is it production, is it personality?
Fit. What does this receiver room need? And right now, we need to bring in hard, good working kids that have a mentality that no matter what, they're going to come and put their head down and work. We have to be blue collar. We have to be gritty. Usually receivers are, the swag and all of this. Like, cool, that's part of it. But no, that's not number 1, 2, or 3 for me. Like, you have to know we're going to do the dirty work and bring a blue collar approach. And that's who I am. And we're going to be mentally tougher than anybody else. We're going to do whatever Bush asks us to do to go win ball games. And that's what we're going to have to do for this university to be successful.
I saw in your bio that you were a psychology major. Has that been helpful? How does that play into all this?
Oh, my gosh.
The mental aspect is so huge now.
It's more so on me. I talk to myself all the time. No, it's huge. Funny story. I've been on my own since 15, right? And I kind of shared that a little bit. And what's unique is, my mom always said, go to school, get your education. I was just speaking. I spoke at the graduation right before I left South Florida to a group of the athletic, to the kids that's in athletics. And I told them, I was the first. So my mom told me to go to school and get my education. But when she passed, nobody in my family had ever went to college. So when I got there, they're like, what do you want to study? And I'm like, didn't really know. And so a lady named Megan Anderson, who's a hero, I call her an earth angel, she said, what are you interested in? I was kind of interested in myself. How does child trauma, child upbringing and stuff shapes who a person become? So I study psychology, just how the brain works and how it's all wired. So it's been good for me because that's what I was interested in. And then obviously started the nonprofit, giving back to underprivileged youth and stuff like that. It's kind of where I've always centered my focus around, just helping out young men and women be the best version of themselves no matter what happened to them in life, understanding that if we invest in young men and women and they know that we care about them, I truly, in my heart of hearts, know that you'll get the most out of them. So that psychology role has played a little bit, but it's more so life has been the number one teacher for me more than anything. Any book can teach me at all.
Should I play DJ Moore or Jordan Addison in my fantasy team?
Depends on who's the defense. Who are they going against? Jordan Addison had a really good game 2 weeks ago, 3 touchdowns. The chance of that happening. DJ Moore's been consistent and steady, so
Yeah.
maybe if Jordan Jefferson gets some,
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
Justin
still
Jefferson,
playing the Lions, so.
DJ Moore want to show up. I'll go DJ Moore.
When you're talking about fit for your room,
Uh-huh.
culture's been a big buzzword.
Mhm.
Stoops even brought it up. How big, just as an offensive staff, is the culture fit and getting that right here as y'all kind of going over a kind of roster build?
Yeah, I think, the portal stuff, everything happens so fast. You got to just do your background research and do your homework and make sure every room is uniquely different, right? I think if you bring in 10 of the same guys, you end up with 10 of the same guys. You're going to need some guys that have a little more grit to them. You're going to need some guys that want to be in the front and truly lead. You're going to need some guys that want to be Indians as well. You just have to find that true mix for your room so that you get very diverse in what you have in there, that everybody's can do different things and they specialize at what they're good at. That's the piece right now that I have to work through.
Are you looking for a leader per se, coach, in the portal with a lot of young guys on the roster now, or are you looking for that to come to the surface as time passes?
I think you can help a kid build the leadership piece right now. I think, my job is to show them the way and show them what the process looks like. And, it's different ways to lead too, right? Everybody that's a vocal leader isn't a leader that can lead by actions. Everybody that can lead by actions isn't a vocal leader. I think right now we're just going to continue to put our heads down and let the leaders rise to the top. But I know one thing that's consistent: good character always wins. Good people always win. You want to bring in good people because at the end of the day, they'll help the product on the field be that much better.
Jamori was pretty open with us about last year. Maybe didn't go the way he hoped it.
Mm-hmm.
He came on down the stretch. Decided to come back before you got hired. But what have those early conversations with him been like, given you had that relationship?
Obviously with him his freshman year at Missouri, we talked briefly. Like I said, I've been a family friend of the Macklin family for a long time. I'll tell him just like I'll tell anybody else in that room, if it didn't go how you wanted it to go, then what can I do to help you get to those goals that you want to reach? And that's my job. It doesn't always go our way. Cool. Let's do some self-reflection. Let's go to the drawing boards. Let's change what pieces of our process we have to change to get it done, because it's easy to point fingers. Anybody, right? For me, what went wrong? Easy for me to point. Let's think about the things that went right. Let's fix those. The things that went wrong, what can we change? And make sure that our process is right so we can go get every result that we need going forward. And he's a hardworking kid. Comes from a great family. He knows what it takes. He's been around Jeremy Macklin, who's a pro. And I have no doubt that Jamari is going to go do exactly what it takes. So this year that he's getting the results he needs.
What jumps out to you most about Lexington and Big Blue Nation?
I told him I'm gonna ride a horse at some point here soon. So I'm get saddled up. I think just the people, how welcoming everyone has been, how the engagement yesterday once we announced, how everybody's been just truly nice and just awesome and excited for me to be here. It makes you excited to be here and get stuff done to where you put a good product on the field. And obviously, like I say, Coach Stoops, everybody's just been awesome. It's easy transition when you're walking into a room of good people that care about you.
Coach, was Jamori's return here contingent upon your hiring and coming here?
No, I think he returned back before I came. I think it just happened to be that we have a history together. But I think it was he wanted to be here, and love that he wants to be here. You want kids that want to be here. So with him returning back, I'm gonna give him everything that I got. Every kid in that room will get everything that I have to make sure that I'm putting them in positions to go succeed. So I'm glad that every kid that's already here, they chose to be here because they want to be here at Kentucky. You can win with that.
All right, thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank y'all so much. Appreciate everybody. Thank you.